Planet of Dinosaurs, 1978 monster film. Sci-Fi, typical stop motion of the era, similar to Crater Lake Monster, King Kong, Godzilla. Those type of monster movies where they use the special effects of stop motion, and really talented team of visual effects artists on this film. That's all you get, because everything else is low budget. The plot, well, let's say the opening credits, there's like this synthesizer soundtrack that you didn't even see coming, and it's really awesome because you get these dinosaur sketches. So if you haven't heard this film, it's basically about this crew on a space odyssey mission. The mission really isn't even that clear. We only get 4 minutes of them on the space journey until they crash into this planet, and it's like miniatures of the space ship. And so they crash it onto this distant planet similar to Earth, long light years away, but millions of years back of evolution. It isn't as advanced as Earth. So basically it's at a state where dinosaurs still rule this planet. So it's not like they go back in time. They're lost in space and they have to crash land on this planet with dinosaurs. And so they crash into this huge like lake, and they end up, one of them gets attacked by this lake monster. And the group consists of the disco crowd. It's like they pulled them out of the local disco. They're supposed to be like, I don't know, astronauts or scientists or something. But they're dressed up like they're going to Woodstock, and it's not like they've brought in any bud onto this planet. And then the rest of the movie is just basically survival mode of them, like, let's say this, so there was like no costumes or props for the movie. You could tell that early on, that they just spent the whole budget on the stop motion effects. And then after you do research, that's what all the research says, that they spent all the budget on the stop motion effects, because there's no stars in the movie at the time. So they're all basically no-name actors, B-movie. And so basically they're like advanced. They come from an advanced civilization, but they're left with none of their technologically advanced equipment, so they're basically brought back to like caveman, primitive style of living with spears. But they do have this 70s ray gun that they use as a weapon, which does a whole bunch of nothing, of course. And you see dinosaurs fighting each other. It's pretty awesome. They are the villains. Then the main villain is the T-Rex, just like in a Jurassic Park movie. But they also have this Centrosaurus, who freaking, that's the big one with the horn. It's kind of like the pig with the horn type of dinosaur. He ends up stabbing or charging this guy and spiking him with this huge horn. It's awesome. There's so many awesome effects where they'll kill like the guys and like run off with them, like this dinosaur with the guy in his mouth, or like bash him off the edge of a cliff. There's also like this giant spider. So now I'm going to talk about the ending. I give it a C+ overall. So now I recommend seeing it, or at least seeing the trailer or highlights of it if you're like a stop motion monster fan of like Godzilla and King Kong, and you want to expand and watch other monster movies. Highly recommend this. Easy watch, only an hour and 25 minutes long. So the ending, they come up with a brilliant plan to attack the T-Rex, and so most of the movie is just like them, like these girls, and like there's a bunch of characters of girls and nameless guys who are just starting their own relationships and becoming closer and making out and then talking about eating and how to survive. Whole bunch of nothing talk. So we get to the end, and one of them's just like, so then they start all arguing with each other like, oh, we should attack the T-Rex in the lair. and they end up coming up with this idea because the berries are poisonous in the area. It's an awesome concept. I mean, if this was remade today, it would be amazing if they did this today. I mean, I'd prefer the stop motion monsters over modern CGI, but still, the concept of it, they'd make space better and they'd give it more of a backstory, maybe have a home base and they're waiting for like a ship to come save them or whatnot. And then then they finally kill the T-Rex with their contraption of spiked logs. And in the end, it fast forwards a few years and they're more comfortable and the lead guy's like, what is it, lizard tonight again? And then another guy walks up and he's like, no, it's fillet of swamp monster. There's a few good lines that you didn't even see coming. Or at least I didn't see coming. It's a pretty good movie. That's why I'm giving it a C+. So they've basically adapted to the new world and they're like, oh, you think a ship's ever coming? And they're like, I don't think it matters at this point because they started having kids and starting a new civilization out on this own world. It's an awesome concept. I hope one day that it gets remade. It would be an awesome sci-fi space movie. So yeah, definitely check that out. Thanks for watching. This was JBM from Villain News, Villain Radio, Mr. Creepshow 9 on YouTube. I'm out.